Okay.
I'm sad I can't.
Greetings, everybody. Welcome to... wow, these alerts are really working very well. Thank you, everybody. Welcome to Arragas, the City of Dreams. I'm Sean Dixon, the Bearded Foe. I'll be the DM for the next 2 hours or so. We'll see how it goes. I may get fired after this episode. With me, as always, is the adventuring party, and since we don't yet have our overlay, but we're working on it. We'll go ahead and do introductions very quickly, or maybe not so quickly, starting with our resident cleric and working on the way around.
Okay, my name is Amanda, and I'm playing a cleric, and her name is Kethra Sogard.
My name is Ben. I'm playing a paladin, holiest of paladins, and his name is Erister the Paladin.
And I'm Taylor. I play a fighter named Makaria Stormdragon.
I'm Steven. I'm the elf bard of the group. Full of mystery.
With no name.
Oh, that's right. Okay, yeah, it's
He's
Vesper.
very mysterious. Very.
Vesper present. There we go. Yeah, I remember things. Don't make fun of me.
I am the Elven Druid, Liliana Hollywisp.
Okay, for those of you joining us, congratulations on surviving the technical malfunction last week. You are among an elite few that were able to survive it. I personally had a meltdown, and I cried myself to sleep behind a Target in the greater OKC metro. I won't tell you which one, but there are now signs up posted, no crying yourself to sleep behind this Target. So if you see those signs, you'll know why. So what we'll do, since it's been 2 weeks since the last episode, is we'll do a quick recap of what went on. And I will... Should I let the players recap? Or do you...
You're assuming I remember what happened.
That's
That's reach.
Yeah.
Be a little more organized.
It's been 2 weeks for us, too.
Give us the
It's been a little while. Okay, so for those of you who are watching, the lower right-hand corner of your screen, that has the logo, because we're still experiencing tiny technical difficulties, and so we can't get the map camera to work, but we're working. That's on the top of our priority list. Okay, so 2 weeks ago, the party had cornered an animal in the mines out in Watonga mining complex. They were on level 8, and a creature called a rhino dog, which is a natural pack hunting animal, had somehow been corrupted by chaos, and it was bigger and stronger and meaner, but it was also grosser, and it had a tentacle instead of a tongue, and it smelled really weird, and it slobbered all over everything, and it had an insatiable lust for blood. They trapped it in level 8 of the mines, and with relatively few complications and more than one monkey roll, they were able to defeat the monster and hack it to pieces. They pulled its head away from the body and wrapped it in some burlap or some canvas, and then the priest and the paladin, and I believe also the druid, then spent the next 25 minutes just using every cantrip at their disposal to melt down the rest of the body into a pile of ash that is relatively benign. They went to the surface. When they came out of the mines, they were a little bit nonplussed to find that the 5th Eriday of the month started with a gloaming. For those of you just tuning in, a gloaming is when the moon has already set, but the sun has not yet risen. And so from a superstitious standpoint, it's a space between days, and it's a kind of an unlucky time. It's not, you don't want to be born during a gloaming, and you don't want to, start a party during a gloaming, and you don't want to be lost in the woods during a gloaming for certain. That tends to get you in all manner of trouble that will either kill you or nobody will believe you afterwards when you try to relate the story. They have also discovered, which actually they knew, the night before, a large contingency of camp followers had come to Watonga Mining Complex in order to entertain and otherwise cater to the needs of the miners. A little bit of fleecing going on, and certainly some illicit exchanges of money for goods and services. And when the adventurers came out of the mine, they saw that the camp followers had already made themselves completely at home. So the camp followers' colorful tents were sort of dotted and interspersed among all the mining tents, which are dirtier but much more rugged and sort of sturdily built semi-permanent tents. Whereas the camp followers are just have very light, colorful, sort of silky tents that they can move quickly when it's time to, get out of town.
Tend to rock a little more than the other tents, I would think.
There is definitely a notable difference in the rocking between tent types. And many a miner has made that very observation, as it turns out. So Erister and Kethra went to, actually, was it Erister and Kethra and someone else? Who went to the actual fort?
Macaria and Vesper.
So all four of you went to turn in to Commander Lona?
No. I thought that was you.
After
Really?
defeating the beast, we took its head to the High Commander. We told him about a missing suspect. We
Did you guys
agreed
go
to
to?
tell
No,
him.
we went somewhere else.
We went to
interrogate
Mr. Pinky.
He was
here.
being recruited by...
Right.
We agreed to tell no one about
Carrie.
the chaos, and we destroyed the beast. Macaria and Vesper went to investigate the camp of entertainers. Macaria was subversively checking her moonstone against the visitors, while Vesper looks for fellow entertainers and finds Winky Pinkbottom. After a misunderstanding about
Winky.
prostitution, he agrees to allow him
The
to
proper
sleep
use of
with
a
others in
carrot.
the camp.
Let's not use the P word. Okay, he's a proprietor of goods.
Right.
Babo Three Fingers showed up at the camp, told Macaria and
Yes.
Vesper that we were
That's
in
right.
trouble because we were late back to our guild and were expected back days ago. Vesper told him that we'd finish up here soon and head back. And then there's the stuff about the gloaming and the final thing where we agreed with, or we paid to talk to Saris and we snuck off to follow her as he went to go get her.
Yep.
Right. So we ended last episode with Winky Pinkbottom, who is a self-proclaimed legitimate pimp, going off to get Saris to inform her that she has some clients waiting for her at the Veiny Shaft, which is the main tavern and inn run by Grim Grom, a dwarven miner of esteemed reputation. Erister, Kethra, and Macaria have gone on ahead to the shaft to procure a common room where they're going to meet with Saris. Vesper and Liliana have decided that they're going to stealthily follow Winky in order to discover sort of who maybe Saris has been talking to, or possibly see what Saris is up to if Winky catches up to her and they have a discussion about the said thing.
And there was spicy taco roulette.
There was a spicy taco roulette.
And I
You'll just have to watch
No,
the
Macaria
episode,
won.
the previous episode, to
Delicious
find out what
spicy
that's
taco.
about. Yeah.
Well, so too, should we mention the Moonstone and what that does? That we figured out what that does.
Sure. So the adventurers have discovered that Moonstone, in addition to its believed protective properties from the influences of chaos, they also discovered that when they pressed the raw Moonstone against the creature's body, it burned the creature. So we're talking about the Rhino Dog. And sustained damage from having Moonstone touched against its naked skin, its bare skin. So the adventurers have devised a test, if you will, wherein if they suspect someone is corrupted by chaos, they clandestinely rub the moonstone somewhere on the person's body to see if there is a reaction, to see if the person yelps out or gets hives or anything like that.
It's Macaria's favorite activity.
Yeah, Macaria in particular has really enjoyed rubbing her moonstone on unsuspecting persons. As of yet, they have not had any sort of a reaction. Okay. Well, that's very interesting because...
Is it plugged in? Is his computer plugged in all the way?
Is my... Yeah. If you'll hold on just 1 second, we're experiencing technical difficulties again.
Or you stretch it out of it.
Is there a button on there that needs to be pressed to turn it on? It is a surge protector.
No.
Right there?
Oh, so I should click this.
Yeah, click it the other
Are
way.
you sure?
Sure.
Okay.
And the whole thing shuts off.
Recharging?
Do I click it again?
No. Wait.
Mm,
Why isn't it turning on?
so... Well, everything has power.
Everything has power.
So why is...
Double check the power box
Yeah.
on the cable. It may have come undone because we had to stretch the computer.
Computers
Oh, no.
are complicated.
Oh,
Not
no.
those. No.
Awesome. So
That's all that.
let me just
Sit over there
make
permanently.
sure.
Just in case.
Yeah, just
Okay.
make sure before
Yeah,
I
like,
exit
so
the area.
I'm used to
Tower
this
Mike is
area.
picking stuff up.
Good?
You
Hi guys.
So we're gonna. All of these episodes are going up on
I
YouTube.
want you guys to move out of the third spot.
Yep.
Third
I
This
is
is
right
the
at
right thing.
I can't wait to watch this episode a year from
I
now.
think we're good. Thanks.
And
right or the left?
Oh my god. All
I
right.
come out looking pretty well because I just sat here.
So,
Thank you for making the eye candy, Ben, while
You're
we're
welcome.
doing this. I appreciate it.
You guys are the
Oh.
greatest.
Normally I would just hop into action in situations like this, but
Your actions should
Feeling
be
a
like
little slow
flexing and just looking
I mean-
pretty right now.
The most helpful action at this point in time might be to scoot your chair slightly forward.
What?
yeah, you're totally out of frame. You're
well,
totally out of
mostly
frame.
because we couldn't
You're
get
half
behind
in
you.
the frame right now.
so right or left?
You need to go towards
Oh,
Amanda.
goodness.
You
Ow.
guys should always be as close to the center of the table as you possibly can.
Oh,
Well,
it's gonna get
like-
uncomfortable.
That direction.
But that's cool.
There you
Well,
go,
you know,
there
you
go,
guys
there
can switch seats if you want to. That way, when you lean the way you're leaning right now, you're leaning towards the center of the table.
This is my spot.
Whoa. Lines have been drawn. Sorry.
Lines have been drawn. Right now, your ear is visible. Your exterior ear.
So do we need to...
Now your whole face is turned off the camera. Okay, now your face is in the camera.
This is going to
And
be
you can
really
see your
weird.
shoulder.
Can we turn the camera?
Here, look. Sit where you want to sit.
Okay, I want to sit here.
Okay, that's what you look like. You see how like 1/3 of your face is turned.
There you go.
Okay, stop. Now Amanda's out of the frame.
What?
Yeah, no. I'll adjust it.
Well,
I
I,
can
mean,
see it too.
you know, I tried to make it equitable, but
No, you didn't. It's obviously
A little bit more.
totally tilted
A
towards
little
you.
bit more. Right there, perfect. All
Okay.
right,
Don't move.
nobody move except to roll dice.
Now would be a good time to explain a little bit about the world, maybe. That we
Yeah, hey. So the world is a very harsh place that will crush your dreams and
The
hopes.
world
and
of Arragas.
the world of Arragas. So the world of Arragas is a very harsh world that will crush your dreams. Well, let's see. How far back should I go, Makaria?
I don't know. It looks like
I
we
don't know,
need
it
to
looks like
begin
fun
now.
now.
Oh, I thought
In the
Okay.
beginning, why don't you shut that door? That way we can really get the summer camp smell going in here.
This is real D&D, people.
This is if you wanted to know what it's really like.
Yeah,
This is-
for those
this
of you
is
who've never
grunge
played the
level
game, this is
activity.
pretty much par for the course.
Yeah.
Okay, so Arragas is called the City of Dreams because 180 years ago, give or take a few years, it was the site of an armistice signed between elves and dwarves that ended in what's known as the 9th Century War. So for 900 years, elves and dwarves were killing each other. Both sides, their goal was the complete genocide of the other race. And then humans came along and said, hey, can't we figure out a way to live in peace, especially since both of your species are basically on the verge of extinction. And so they were able to come up with a deal that both sides could get behind. And Arragas was founded on the site of the armistice and was opened by the emperor at the time to all free-thinking citizens, dwarves, elves, humans alike, to come together and live in peace and harmony as a bastion of what could be possible when good people work together. So since that time, Arragas has grown very big. It's the biggest city-state on the entire continent. It is currently under the direction of the two princesses, and I'll get to why that is in a second. Most recently in the history of Arragas, 9 years ago, there was a battle that is now known as Battle of the Boneyard, where a monstrous force of orcs and ogres and giants and manticores came out of the mountain range to the north of the city and launched an all-out assault on Arragas in an attempt to crush it. Their main weapon was a large black dragon that basically devastated the northern walls of the city. The battle lasted for 3 days, and during that time, Arragas lost around 20% of its population. When they finally brought the black dragon down. When they finally killed it, it crashed in one of the northern provinces of the city. And when its body hit the ground, it exploded in this huge black cloud of what is now called the miasma. It's effectively the embodiment of chaos. So it's almost like a smoke and a fog mixed together, and it instantly killed everything that it touched, and it blew out in every direction. And that area of the city was sealed off and is now quarantined. So no one is allowed to go in and no one is allowed to go out. And very few people actually made it out of that battle in time. During that battle, Kethra's mother was killed. Erister and Macaria were both actually fighting in that battle. And Erister had been... Just before the Black Dragon was brought down, Erister had been ordered basically away to go take care of a breach that was happening in a different section of the north part of the city. And he was very upset that he was ordered away. He wanted to stay and fight with his brothers and sisters in the Millipole. But officers can't afford to not follow orders, and so... he did his duty, and he took his contingent of cavalry, and they rode out. That's how they survived the battle. Macaria was less fortunate. Macaria actually, it depends on who you ask. Macaria, her cavalry unit was attacked by a flight of manticores, and everyone but Macaria was basically killed. Macaria, for her part, sustained what everyone thought was a mortal wound, which opened up her guts from about her belly button all the way up to her clavicle.
Stem to stern.
Everything was exposed and open. The manticore was getting ready to eat, and when it was killed by some other millipole, and the stretcher bearers, what am I looking for? The stretcher bearers were able to get her out of there to safety, and quite literally as the gates were closing, Macaria was being carted out, and the Black Dragon had just crashed, and the miasma was exploding out and shooting forward like a wall of death. Liliana was not present at the battle, but her mother was at the stone cairn, which was attacked preemptively before the orc forces reached the city, and a lot of good elves died at the stone cairn, which is a sacred place to druids and elves alike, her mother being one of them. So in that sad regard, Liliana and Kethra have that in common. They both lost their mothers during the war. And Vesper was also not involved in the war. At that time, he was busy strategizing, but wisely, if nothing else, avoiding any sort of combat. That was just not in his skill set at the time.
Too dirty.
And he knew that rushing bravely into battle would end up with his demise.
Why fight when there's women and children to hide with?
I was watching attentively from my ivory tower.
Yeah, he was
reading literature.
There was much concern. Vesper had much concern.
Furrowed brows all around.
Immediately following the Battle of the Boneyard, Empress gathered up everyone who was still of fighting ability in order to launch a counteroffensive into the mountains, because never before in the whole written history of the human species had that many orcs been successfully banded together. They are a very warlike culture, and when there's not good people around for them to fight, they tend to fight each other and bicker over resources and things. And so she surmised that someone or something very powerful had actually organized the strike and the attack on Arragas, and she wanted to find that source and either negotiate with it, or if that was not possible, destroy it and remove it as a threat to her empire. So she loaded up almost everyone in Millipole that could fight, and left the city under the care of her 2 daughters, Kalaya and Seraphe. Kalaya is the older daughter and next in line for the throne, should her mother never return. Seraphe is slightly younger and very much beloved by the people. She absolutely adores all the citizens of Arragas and is quite fond of getting out from the palace and traveling the city.
She can speak with birds, small mammals, stuff like that.
That is a rumor, unsubstantiated
Fly around her
rumor.
head.
Yeah.
Like a Disney princess.
So that was actually 9 years ago. Since then, Arragas has been struggling with rebuilding. Most of the fighting force left with the Empress. That includes dwarven soldiery as well as elven soldiers. They left with the Empress 9 years ago. Millipole is simultaneously the military and the police, and so Arragas was suddenly a huge population and a huge city with only about 10% of a police force left. So as you can imagine, crime sort of got on the rise, poverty got on the rise, people were having trouble just finding enough food to eat, much less rebuild their homes, rebuild their neighbors' homes, rebuild their businesses. And so it was decided by the Arragas nobility, with the sanctioning of the 2 princesses, that Arragas would start allowing guilds to patrol the streets and enforce the queen's will, the empress's will. So in addition to merchant guilds and banking guilds and any other number of trades guilds, there are now guilds out there that are just for protection. There are guilds out there that just enforce the laws, and there are guilds out there like Sable Guard, which our adventurers are a member of, whose job is basically piecemeal procurement, merchanting, and protection services, bodyguarding. And so in their duties as members of Sable Guard, they were entrusted to safeguard a caravan as it made its way out to Watonga mining station, which is the major mining hub for the entire city of Arragas. It's in the southern fork of the mountain range, commonly called the Dragonspine mountain range. People don't really like to call it that, though, because the Black Dragon still haunts everyone's dreams. And while they were at Watonga mining station, Erister was able to run into one of his old friends, who is currently stationed at Watonga mining station. His name is Restus, and Restus informed them that there was some unrest because some miners had gone missing, and due to goblin incursions to the north, Millipole at Watonga mining station didn't have enough people to investigate, and so our heroes bravely signed on for a slight compensation for their time and efforts. Vesper was clear about what that sort of compensation should look like, which led them to their current situation. They have run face first into a beast of chaos, and they strongly suspect that agents of chaos are responsible, and that there is some sort of a plot that may threaten the Watonga mining complex, and by extension, or even implicitly extending into the city of Arragas in its weakened state.
All right.
So that's the history.
Oh, that was intense.
That's the history of the world, and there'll be more of that to come. I don't generally enjoy that much exposition, but it's fun to tell the story.
We'll space it out a little more next time.
Yeah, next time we'll just do one word at a time over the next 47 episodes.
Just like each person go along, tell the story with one word.
One word, yeah. It's like one of those improv exercises.
So, meet
so-
with Saris.
I was thinking of middle school play.
Wait, someone can-
This is Arragas.
Around the
We
vein
have
shaft.
dreams.
Mm-hmm.
We're at the vein shaft.
Okay, so Kethra.
We're following Saris.
Yeah, Kethra. No, you were following Yuki.
We're not following.
You guys, you haven't seen Saris yet.
I am
Yeah,
very
well,
clunky,
I'm
not
following
very
him.
stealthy.
I'm really
Yeah.
good at being stealthy, no matter what anybody says.
So Kethra and Makaria and Erister, if I can have your figures, we'll go ahead and put you guys on the map.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Godspeed, little buddy.
And for those of you that can't see the map, the common room at the Veiny Shaft that they have chosen has 3 bunk beds, so 6 bunks altogether. An open space in the middle of the floor, and to one side is a barrel, presumably full of something to drink, and a bench that has a bunch of junk on it that, reading materials and a few spare towels and things like that.
There's no chair I can sit in.
They assume that you're sit on the bunk, or if you want a chair, you'll go out into the front room and order a beer like everyone else. Okay.
What if
Alright.
I grab a chair and a beer and bring that in?
You probably
If
could.
you're
I
in
don't
the
think.
barrel
I don't
because I'm
think.
looking for a tap. Right.
Yeah. I don't think. I don't think Grim and Grom would begrudge you a couple of, chairs in the room. That's not. He would not begrudge that. Okay. But first, let's go to the 2 elves. So we've got Liliana and Vesper, both of blue-hued skin, and they are stealthily moving along behind Winky Pinkbottom, who is tuckered off to go find Saris and inform her that she has clients that are waiting. Okay, so can I get both of you to make a stealth roll for me? And we'll see.
I do want to say I'm not with him.
Yeah, you guys have separated, right? Yeah, you guys have
We're
separated.
not right.
Okay,
Yeah,
well,
no,
We
I
are not together.
all right.
Yeah, I thought that was made clear at the
God, I
end.
thought my character was stuck up.
I don't know.
Okay,
Was it the carrot? Was it the carrot incident? I bit the carrot. I'm sorry. Okay.
all right. What are your totals? 12. Okay.
Let's see. 20.
20.
Not
Okay.
not natural.
So,
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Yeah.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. That's a new thing. It might not be new, but it's new to me. And I've been DMing for 30 years. All right. Dirty 20. All right. So considerably better than a 12. Okay. So the two of you skulk off.
That's cool.
Wow.
Vesper, you are slightly behind Liliana, so you can see both her and Winky. For his part, though, he doesn't notice either of you. Like, he's super miffed, right? He's still bothered by the confrontation with Erister.
Well,
And
I
he's-
haven't met him, so that's why I figured I could just wander around.
Sure, yeah, you're just sort of crowd surfing. Like, you're not really, like,
Yeah.
moving from shadow to shadow.
Are you an elf or a cat?
I'm an elf.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Liliana is in her
I mean-
natural
Okay.
elven state.
For the first
Or
time
so she says.
ever.
Yeah, well, not ever, but yeah,
Right.
she...
I was just wondering.
For those of you just joining us, Liliana thoroughly enjoys taking animal form as often as she can because she feels it brings her closer to nature. And also, she looks cooler.
And there's lots of other reasons. But
Yeah, there's a few other reasons, but most of those are, yeah.
It's very freeing
Very
to be
personal.
in fur.
Yeah. Okay, so Winky's
No,
trucking along and he's
no,
angry.
sir. We're not going down that
It's a
road.
Mm-hmm.
nice breeze.
And he's angry that Erister had accused him of being a cad, basically. Accused him. Erister had brought up during their confrontation the number of soldiers under his employ that had come away from some of their purchases with more than they bought. And Winky had explained to Erister, under threat of violence, that he was legitimate now, and that he was in a guild, and he everything he does is legal, and he doesn't do that stuff anymore. And but once Erister had let him go and wandered off, Winky's tone changes, and he's cursing and damn that Erister, and it's not my fault that his men pass girls around like, cigarettes. Like,
Whoa.
they shouldn't be sharing. They want to pay. Then, maybe, Plus, I mean, everyone's had the tickle drip now and again. It goes away. You just,
I've never had tickle drip.
The root. You just make a root, but he's just mumbling to himself, right? He's very upset. And you see him walking up the path to the jeweler's apartment.
Okay.
And I think you've been to the jeweler's apartment too, haven't you, Liliana?
No.
Okay, so you see him walking up the path to an apartment. He raps on the door. Keep in mind that it's still early morning. The sun has just crested, but it's only been up for a half hour now. He knocks on the door, and Zola Norwood, the mistress of the jeweler, opens the door, and she is wearing a next to nothing sheer nightgown of that's not really doing what it's supposed to be doing.
Okay.
Winky, looks her up and down, and then sort of remembers his place and says, "Oh, excuse me, Miss Norwood. Is Saris still here?" And Zola says, "No, she left a few moments ago." And from inside Tresner LaRouge, the jeweler, he yells, "Who is it?" "Oh, it's Winky. He's just looking for Saris." "She left a little while ago." "Yeah, I told him." And Winky says, "Okay, thank you. I'm sorry to have bothered you, and I hope you have an excellent morning." And Zola, of course, just dismisses him as she did with you, and Macaria. You're okay. Whatever. We'll continue our good morning now that the interruptions are over.
Yeah.
Right. She shuts the door. So Winky starts walking along, and he's just grumpy again, right? They pay for the right to get first dibs on her, but that don't mean they can be rude. And I oughta up her prices, and that'll show them. Maybe knock her down a peg or two. That Zola, she's not far off from needing my services anyway. She's getting a little old, and Tresner's about to turn her in. So he starts walking along, blah, 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 blah. And eventually he makes it to the guild house. And he goes inside. Are either of you going to attempt to follow him into the guild house, or are you just going to wait for him to come out?
I'll go in.
Okay. Are you going to go in stealthy, or are you going to go in as Vesper?
Stealthy.
Okay. Go ahead and make another roll for me.
Okay, that's on edge.
We'll take the worst result.
No.
Just
Take a
re-roll
better
it.
result.
Let's push it in there.
Just re-roll it if it's half.
No.
Oh, I should have took it.
What is it, a dirty one?
Dirty
3?
Wait. Yeah, 11.
11. All right. So you wait for Winky to sort of release his hand on the door, which begins closing of its own accord, and you try to shimmy in there and get through the door without banging into it or altering its trajectory in any way. And the door closes and catches a bit of your cloak. You come loose, right? You get the cloak out, but it rattles the door loudly enough that Colcord immediately looks up at the door and looks like he's about to greet you, but then sees Winky marching straight up to the front desk, and Colcord greets him. Mr. Pinkbottom, good to see you. Is there something I can do for you? I'm looking for Saris. I haven't seen her today. She did not come by. And Winky says, "Were you watching all of the entrances?" And Colcord, "Yes, I was watching all of the entrances. I wouldn't be much of a concierge if I didn't know who was coming in and out of my building." And Winky kind of looks at him and, looks like he doesn't really believe Colcord. But Colcord, has the virtue of being of a higher class, and so he just patiently waits for Winky to lose his nerve. And Winky says, if you see her, tell her that she's got clients.
I'll start making my way out.
Okay.
Stop
As soon as I hear she's not there, I'll start.
Okay, so Colcord looks at you as you move to the door, and he says, "Good to see you again, Mr. Preslin."
I'm just gonna ignore him.
Okay, all right. So you head out. Okay.
I never went out.
I don't have anything witty to say.
Are you gonna try to get out of the way before Winky comes back out?
Yeah.
Okay, so go ahead and roll another stealth check for me.
There's like a pickle barrel or something I can jump in. I don't know.
Yes.
A pickle bear?
Like Vesper.
Oh God, there might be. That's
34.
gonna be a 9.
9. Okay. You look around desperately for a pickle barrel. You don't find one, so in your panic, you settle for a half-carved rain stick that's leaning against the... So you pick it up and you just you hold it.
Okay, yeah. And
Winky comes out and looks at you, and... he doesn't know what to say. He looks at your fingers again, and it's a damn shame.
I'm gonna walk
You could be
up.
making more.
I'm gonna walk up and be like, "Where are you hiding?"
To Winky or to Vesper?
No, we're playing hide and seek, me and Vesper. He's hiding behind rain
Oh.
stick.
You know those elves.
Oh,
You know?
I see. It's some sort of role play. I now understand. I'll leave you to it.
oh, you got me.
Yeah, and he begins to waddle off, sort of shaking his head. You see him make basically sort of a serpentine movement through the tents, listening but not actually confronting anyone about Saris. And then finally, when he gets to what looks to be almost the end of the tent city sort of portion of Watonga Mining Complex, Saris comes out of someone's tent, and Winky pulls her aside, and they begin having a hushed conversation. And he basically tells her, you're able to get close enough that you can see her sort of agreeing, like she looks like she's nodding and yeah, agreeing. And then he points up to the veiny shaft, and she says, sort of nods again, and then she kisses the gentleman in the tent.
Can we tell who it is?
Actually, I think depending on do you remember that really muscly miner?
Yeah,
Daravan?
the one that the priestess went.
Yeah,
Gaga
for yeah.
What? No!
It's him. Yeah. So they kiss.
Cat had her tongue on that one.
They kiss. They
You weren't
kiss
there, you
long
don't know.
and deep.
I don't know what
Basically an
happened.
agent of chaos now.
I don't know.
Catherine's not disappointing because she doesn't know.
Catherine's still really into him. Yeah.
He's dead
He
inside.
gave me lots
Alright,
of dog
I'll-
treats. So.
If
I'm gonna.
at the first indication that Saris starts coming back towards the veiny shaft,
He's got the two.
I'll go. I'll try to get a lead and go straight there.
Okay. All right. So her and Daravan kiss a little more. They cup each other 2 or 3 more times each. A little squeezy here, a little squeezy there. Finally lets her go. She drapes one of her scarves over his face and then pulls it gently off. And he's here. What? Is Catherine there?
Catherine's not there.
No, okay. Catherine's not there. All right.
I turn to Liliana and I say, we say nothing of this.
Yeah. All right.
Stand next to you. I'm
So-
gonna actually duck around the back of a tent and cast detect magic, and then probably just walk way too close.
You're going
to
to
their
cast
personal
detect
space.
magic, or are you going to ritualize detect magic?
I'm gonna cast it
Okay. All right. So you cast detect magic, and then you walk way too close to.
to the cuddling people.
Okay. As you get close, Saris finally breaks free. You can see that Saris is herself glowing magically. She has a pendant around her neck that is glowing, and something under the billowy scarves that form a skirt is also radiating magic, but you cannot see what it is. You can just see that there is an aura coming from her hip.
Do I recognize the pendant?
From her where?
From her hip.
From her hip.
Yes.
Yeah, from the hipple region.
I'm gonna go ahead and call it some magical chastity belt.
Do I recognize the pendant? Like, if it's a stone, do I recognize the stone or the imagery? Or whatever it is?
No, it just looks like it looks like a ruby or something. It looks like a precious pendant. You know, a precious gem set in gold filigree.
Doesn't have the word chaos written on it.
No, with a K for the famous dwarf band.
Sweet.
Chaos.
Well,
I bet they're unpopular with church.
or get smart.
Yes, but that's part of their appeal with the youth.
I see.
I'm just kidding. There's no dwarven band in Chaos in Arragas.
Yeah.
All right. She pulls her yellow hair back into a ponytail and sort of takes her time walking to the shaft. She seems to be enjoying the morning and sort of letting the air blow on her and breathing easily. You manage to get around her and ahead of her without her really taking notice of you in particular. I mean, she probably spotted you moving, but she just thought, oh, it's just another. It's weird that there's an elf here. That elves aren't really minors, but maybe there's a jeweler here, and there's all kind. Maybe he's a guild envoy of some kind. She doesn't notice you. Are you going to stay behind her all the way to the shaft?
Probably.
Okay, yeah. So she has no reason to suspect that she's being followed. So she doesn't really look around. Vesper, you get to the veiny shaft, and to your unending joy, you see a handbill plastered outside of the door. Your favorite female artist of Arragas, Pippi Stardust, is planning to play a show for the troops tonight.
All right.
Tonight. She might have come in with the camp followers, you don't know, but all you know is that she is going to be on stage at the shaft tonight, and she probably has a lot of preparations to make for a show that's going to cater to, what has to be 400 miners at least. If they know what's good for them, they'll be coming to this show.
Okay.
Male
I'll
minors.
probably
There could be
try and locate
A ticket vendor?
Yeah.
some kind of
How do
booth
you know that?
to
This is a fantasy world.
prepare myself so I don't totally become
we met
starstruck
them.
and lose
We
my.
met them.
Lose your cool?
Yeah,
No, I
There was
understand.
chicken
Yeah, I
wing
understand.
refinery.
Got it.
Okay, so
Preparations.
you guys hear a knock on the door, and which is weird because it's a common room, so normally people would just come in, right, to see if there's any vacant beds that they can sleep on. But the door cracks open slightly, and a young human female with yellow blonde hair and dark brown, like the color of chocolate, eyes, peeks her head in, and she says, Erister and party?
Yeah, hi. Come on in. Hi.
I suppress my urge to cut her in half.
Okay, so she pops into the room.
Whoa.
She opens up the door. She comes in and she says the same thing about you, Kethra. Like when she spots you, you can see her go, "You're a little young for massages, but you know what? I'm not in any position to."
My name is Erister
Judge.
Orlean, madam.
Erister
Please
Orlean,
have
it
a
is
seat.
Pleasure to meet you. Certainly, I don't see any chairs in here.
I believe.
I'm sitting in a chair with a beer. Remember?
Should I close this door or should I go
Yes.
get another chair?
Shut the door. You can
Okay.
sit on the bed.
So she closes the door, and she moves over. She looks at Makaria, and
Suspenseful.
yeah, she looks at
You're a bitch.
Makaria and notices your scar. Notices where it starts here at the top. And does it start in your face?
No, remember that I have one on my face.
Oh, that's a
and then
different
I've got
scar.
the big
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
Multiple
Man,
scars.
Makaria's had a hard life. Arragas is a very soul crushing
I'm tough.
place. Yeah. And
She's
then
the
she
battle.
looks again at Kethra, and sort of, eyeballs her a little bit, and then walks up to you and gently places her hand on your arm and introduces herself as Saris.
Okay, Kethra has just figured out exactly what's going on right now, and I am a little uncomfortable. I wasn't exactly sure.
I'm giggling.
I'm
Yeah.
just figuring this out.
And
I am
that
loving
it is a pleasure to meet
second
you.
what's happening.
And so then she sits down on the bed closest to you, and sort of flourishes when she spins. She flourishes her skirt scarves in such a way that the maximum amount of leg is showing, while still revealing nothing. And you've seen this before in some of the really good dancers and masseuses.
Sure.
You can tell that she's high caliber.
Nice.
She sits down and she says, "So, is it all three of you, or just him and the two
Your
of you?"
physical
watch?"
services will not be required.
Oh.
We just paid for your time.
Okay, so let's go ahead and stop here, and let's take our 10-minute bio break. So for those of you at home, we're going to take a 10-minute break so you can get up, stretch your legs, refill your cups with soda or your favorite beverage.
Yeah, you can pour water.
Or continue folding laundry, which is what I'm sure you're doing.
Or, yeah. Erister is very practical with his breaks. You should always be working. And we will start back up here at 9 o'clock with the actual game. In the future, there will be a little video or something that runs right now, but for until we get our production value raised as high as I would like it to be raised, instead I'll just be responding to people in chat and discussing with you guys anything that you might have, any questions that you might have about the world, about the show, anything like that. I see that we've got lots of people in chat. So, hey Duchess, good to see you. Red poster. What does that mean? Is that an inside joke that I should be getting? Red poster. What is that?
Aha, I'm in the chat now as well.
Oh, good. At long last. At long last. Erister,
Yes.
are you even remotely attracted to Saris? Is she enticing you at all? Does she need to work harder?
I don't believe the other players are aware of this, but Erister is in fact chaste. So he will not lie with a woman.
Yeah, not since the death of your wife, right?
That's correct.
Yes, Kethra knows it. Okay, well,
Of course
we'll have to
she
wait
does.
till she gets back, and then I'll ask her about the red poster. Okay, so what do you want to tell? Do you want to tell people about what happened to your wife and daughter?
Yeah, sure.
As you remember it.
So let's see. After the big battle of the Boneyard, where we fought the dragon, my character's father was actually a general in Millipole, so he was required to travel with the Empress. I, however, was instructed to stay home and basically make sure the military continued to function without falling apart. Because I was a friendly name and people knew me from the battle and stuff like that. So, I did that for about 5 years until one night, about 3 years ago, some mysterious creature broke into my house and ended up killing my wife and child. So, and I was out on patrol doing my usual duties, and I come home to find this, and Erister had pretty much broken down after that. So, spent the next 3 years searching for the creature that I suspect had done it, because there was enough supernatural and mysterious circumstances around the site that led me to believe it was some sort of chaos creature that had escaped the boneyard or some other horrible thing. You know, I couldn't put my finger on it because obviously I'm not a great detective. Let's see, what's my investigation? Not high enough. Yeah, so after about 2 years of searching, I realized I was going to have to make some changes in my life. So I joined the Paladinhood and left the military. And took a vow of celibacy, which I will continue to uphold.
You are a paladin of Givni,
Paladin of
the
Givni,
goddess of
that's right.
protection and honorable battle.
Not a great one. Currently still have some rage issues and stuff to work through.
There's
but
definitely that.
for the most part, I think I'm an okay paladin. Maybe if I become more powerful via experience gain, I will stop being a bad paladin and start being a good paladin.
Yeah, I'm not sure that that's what it is.
Right.
Yeah,
I'm doing a lot of forgiveness asking in the whole paladin job.
that's true. That's true. Harley's Puddin asked, when is my next DM class? Good question, Harley. That's actually going to be this Friday at Luton XP in Norman. It's located off of Main Street. We are currently streaming at Luton XP, I believe. So hello to everyone at Luton XP. If you are watching, thanks for tuning in. This Friday from 7 to 9 p.m. is my Advanced DMing Techniques seminar. So please join me if you would like. Please tell your friends about it also. The more the merrier. And I would love to increase the amount of competent DMs in the OKC Greater Metro because I firmly believe that everyone can be a good DM. We just need to get them over a few of the confidence issues. I think most people can be great DMs. They just doubt themselves a lot. It's amazing how many people have really cool ideas, and then they think like, "Oh, but I can never be a DM because I don't know the rules, or I don't, I'm not a fast enough thinker." All that stuff's a joke. I'm a dense thinker. I'm one of the slowest people I know, and I'm an excellent DM if I do say so myself. So. Let's see, what else do we have here? Steven's brother says hello from Tulsa. All right, PG Gamers. I'm going to let Steven know that. Greetings from Germany. Duchess, are you in Germany? Or are you just playing with me?
No, I think she's playing with us.
Are you in Germany?
Because that would be a hell of a trip.
Yeah, I know, right? Plus, isn't it like 6 in the morning or something in Germany? Like, they're really far away from us. They're almost all the way around the world from us.
Is Duchess in chat?
Yeah, she says
Hi.
greetings from Germany. She also said something about red poster, and she said that you would know what that meant. Duchess, Duchess, are you doing
I
something?
know what red cookies are. I don't know red poster.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
Okay.
like the stream is way far behind.
Yeah.
Yeah, that always happens.
Oh, okay.
It's a meme. Duchess says it's a meme.
Then why would I know it?
Yeah, Duchess, jeez.
God. Red poster. I'll ask Jamie. He'll know.
Okay, we've got just a few minutes left, so if you are currently in your home peeing with the door open and you can hear the stream, hustle it up. Hustle it up. We're going to start in a couple minutes. Oh, good. I was just going to say we're going to give Makari about 2 more minutes, but she's already here.
Duchess, you're in Germany?
That's what I said.
She is.
I was like, are you?
It would have been extremely hard to get there from this
Red
morning.
poster is the poster that's supposed to be hanging at work.
Red poster.
Greetings from
Click.
Germany
Click.
is the meme.
Click.
Okay,
Got it.
Great. All right,
I remember the red poster now.
good. Okay, red poster.
Yeah,
Oh,
because
my
of
brother's
Saris.
on.
We have a
Hey,
red
Dad.
poster at my
Yeah,
job.
Or Pat.
your brother.
I think it's Pat.
Yeah,
Is it?
It's
Is
Pat.
it? It just said Steven's brother says
Hello, Pat.
hello. Hello from Tulsa. So cool. We got people watching in Tulsa, and
Germany.
So now we're statewide, you guys. This is a statewide Twitch cast.
Fantastic.
It won't be too long before. All right, it's time to start
Technically,
it
it's
up.
international. She's in Germany, right?
No, that's some sort of a meme. She's lying. I hope the meme is about lying, Duchess, because that's all you're doing. She's lying right now. Okay, so while everyone was at break, Liliana made it back to the room. So she comes in through the door.
No, she's standing outside.
She's standing outside the door. Oh, so nobody knows you're actually there?
Yep.
Okay, great. Saris has made herself available on the bed. She's doing some light stretching. And you said that her services won't be needed, but it's her time that you purchased.
Indeed.
And she's sort of she seems a little confused by this, but she's willing to hear you out because money's money, right? So how can I assist you today, good sir?
You met with someone, or you will meet with someone today.
I meet with many people.
I'm going to need to know who all those people are.
Can I ask what for?
One of them in particular is extremely dangerous.
Oh, goodness.
We believe that they were involved in some illicit activities here in the city.
She, the corners of her mouth curl up, and she says, "Illicit sounds fun."
If you call creating beasts from chaos fun.
Goodness, no, that's horrifying. No, there's nothing fun about that at all. Why would anyone do such a thing? Why would I meet with somebody to do such a thing? I'm very happy in my current line of work.
I'm gonna see if she's lying.
Okay.
Roll insight.
Sure. Roll insight.
Can we do a group thing?
This is where my
I wanted to
bullshit
like
meter
to
comes in.
Sure.
pretty
Sure.
sure
Everyone
it's
who
gonna
wants
have
to know
to.
if she's lying and is in the room, go ahead and roll
Oh, I
insight.
gotta roll up
on the table.
Yeah, that's correct. I don't accept
That's gonna drive me nuts.
I don't accept
15.
any rolls.
What is it? Insight? Ooh, I have insight. Okay, great.
I have insight too. That was one I chose.
Yeah.
'Cause
Aww,
wanted to be
I
good
got a
at
+5 and I still only got a 10.
Okay, so 10 and a 13.
15.
15.
And a dirty 20, baby.
And a dirty 20. We've got a dirty 20 in the room.
Yep.
All right.
I'm listening outside the door.
You heard me say dirty 20.
Yeah, you hear Erister go, boom! No. All right, so she seems, not only is she telling the truth, but she's kind of cute. You kind of
Yeah, but it
envy.
makes me, as a priest, this all makes me really uncomfortable.
You think,
Yeah.
you think to yourself, like, if I had a body like that, I would probably be in the suits too, right?
Yeah.
If I hope I look as good as her when I'm old and 20.
Yeah, like ancient.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
21, I'll be dead, but 20, I want to look like her. You can't get a read either way. She seems to be telling the truth, but she's also a little nervous. It could be because she's in a room full of people who all have weapons and she has no weapon, and all of a sudden this has gone from what would have been a customer visit to now what is starting to feel like an interrogation.
It's just starting to feel like an interrogation.
Well,
It's gonna go full blown here in a second.
yeah. Erister, you get the feeling that she is not being 100% truthful with you.
I see. Well,
She says, I can tell you the names of some of my clients, but some of my clients ask for privacy, and I have to respect that.
are you currently infected with any sort of chaos yourself?
Gods, no.
Do you mind if I test that?
Why? What? Yes, I might. Why are you? What? How? How would you even test something like
I just
that?
have already put my moonstone against her skin.
Okay.
You just went for it? Okay.
I just went for it.
You just walk up and try to touch her? All right, make
She
a
didn't ask permission the other time.
yeah,
I don't care.
make a melee attack.
What's
Oh,
going
wait.
on?
Make a melee attack. Like you're gonna. If you're not trying to be sneaky about it, if you're just gonna walk up and touch her with the stone, just make a melee attack.
Do well. Not
Well, I rolled a 5.
Okay.
So.
All right, so she sees you reaching out for her. A look of panic goes across her face. She screams out,
Macaria!
"Ah!"
Macaria, slow
And
down!
she moves out from like she was sitting on the lower bunk. She sort of swings her way out on the pole and backs up against the wall farthest from the door. So the door, you guys, all three of you are between her and the door at this point. She says, "What's the meaning of this?"
It's really simple. All I need you to do, if you could just, and I'll pull out my moonstone, if you could just come touch this stone, then we'll make sure that you haven't come in contact with anyone who's had chaos in them. Like, even if you didn't know they had chaos in them, by just touching this stone, we'll just be able to make sure that you're clean and that you don't have any residual chaos in you. Because even being around people, even if you didn't know,
And being very intimate with other people.
you could, like...
What?
Yes.
Indeed.
So I just, if you would
So
just
she
touch
she
the stone.
she immediately walks forward and just like puts two fingers on your moonstone.
Okay. What happens?
And she's like, am I infected?
Do you
Does it
feel
burn?
okay? Does it hurt?
No, it's kind of, no, it's like smooth, like a pearl. It feels a little cold.
Okay.
Like, no, she looks at her hand, she examines her hand, no burns.
Does this stone change colors?
Nope.
Okay, stone doesn't change colors.
Well, so that proves you're not infected with anything currently.
Could you keep your voice down? I'm in a certain line of work and you can't be throwing accusations like that around.
Let's use a different term. Let's
Okay.
say...
But thank goodness that I don't have... Do you know who this is so that I can avoid them? I don't want to get chaos.
Are you sure that that is your true intention?
What's going on here? Why? Am I...
We have
Am I in
evidence
trouble?
that leads us to believe that you are in league with these people.
What evidence?
Well, so we may have found a note that was written by an agent of chaos.
You may have found one or you
Okay,
found
we
one?
did. And in this note, the agent of chaos is supposed to meet you. So we
Her
are
eyes just go wide, right?
But here's the thing: we can't talk about this to a lot of people or like spread this around because we want to make sure that
There's
we're
not a
tipping
panic.
off people who are agents of chaos or making all the miners freak out. But we were just concerned that you may have come into contact or maybe coming into contact with an agent of chaos.
This person would likely be one of the ones that pay for your silence as to who they are. So if you could give us the names of those people, then we would be able to tell you, we'd be able to find the ones that are evil.
I can't do that.
What is the name of that one guy?
I'm not going to be party to a witch hunt. You say that I'm not infected, right?
Right, you're not the big eye. No.
Great. I'm relieved. You have no idea what that means to me. I don't want to end up like those poor people in the boneyard.
If you do meet with these people, you very well could end up that way. That's why we need to figure out who they are.
I'm gonna peek my head in the door
Okay.
and be like, "Oh, hey guys, don't forget that tonight's the gloaming
No, this morning was the gloaming. Tonight
Oh.
is the troop show.
the last night was the gloaming,
And it's the 5th day of Arragas if you're looking for the date.
right?
It's the 5th Era day.
Well,
Sorry.
Did she meet
So-
any? Did
so we
you
might
meet
want
anyone
to check
last
if she
night?
met with anybody last night. What our plans for tonight are, and what do you have under your skirt and what's your pendant do? We got magic under there.
Really?
Yeah, I saw it.
That's why it costs money.
She starts to panic again. She asks you flat out, "Were you spying on me?
Uh-huh.
How do you know those things?" What? I've had enough of this. And she yells out, "Help! Help!"
The only people that will come help you are the military. And they are probably going to put you in a dungeon, if not hang you outright. So I suggest you be more forthright with us going forward.
Are you making an intimidation roll right now?
Yes, I am.
I was going to say something there.
I most certainly am making an intimidation roll. Oh, I got a 14.
All right. You can see the look of terror spread across her face, and she starts screaming louder. Help!
Oh, God.
Help!
I put my hand over her mouth.
No!
Okay.
Stop it!
All right.
No!
Madam, please calm down.
I was bluffing about the hanging thing. You're not going to hang. All right, so go ahead and make a melee attack roll. It should be fairly easy. She's
Every
not-
time.
She's
I rolled
slightly-
a 1.
Oh my
Really? All right.
god! Ah.
So
Dodges.
you move. Yeah, you move to basically
Lunge awkwardly.
calm her down,
Yeah.
and she takes that opportunity to basically duck past you, and she makes it into the center of the room, and she looks like she's going for the door. Is anybody else going to try to stop her?
Yes.
I'm standing
No.
in front of the door.
Yeah.
No,
know
I
that.
feel like this has
But-
gone horribly wrong, and maybe one of us should just follow her. Like,
I mean, I can try to calm her down.
okay.
All right,
Pretty bad.
Makaria, are you going to stop her?
Yeah, I would just put myself directly in her way and look to Erister to see if if he needs to say anything else.
All right.
Well, I try rolling persuasion.
All right, you move in front of her, and she reaches under her skirt and she produces a tiny dagger,
Oh, that's
and she
what it
says, "Get back now! Get out of my way!"
was. What kind of magic?
And then she's all, "Help!"
What kind of magic is it?
I don't know, dagger magic. What do you mean? What kind of magic is it?
I can tell it was spell.
Enchantment magic.
Is it
should
basically
probably
whatever magic
sail,
makes like a
but-
+1 dagger?
It's enhancement. It's enchantment magic.
If it comes
Yeah.
valid.
Okay, because I can tell with the tech magic.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, then in that case, you know that her necklace is also abjuration magic, which is basically protection.
Okay. All right. Okay, never mind.
From disease.
Okay.
That's what it was. Okay.
I will say, please calm down. This doesn't have to come to this.
Yeah.
And I really don't want to have to turn you over to the military.
You're really scary sometimes, Erister. Like, just
We're not turning you over to the military.
like, why don't we show her like the note thing that had her name on it, and maybe she can tell us. Because we're trying to figure this out so that the city doesn't get like enveloped in chaos and go bad and all that stuff.
She says, "Just keep your money and let me go. I don't want to be a part of this. I don't know what you think I've done or what you think I'm going to do, but I can assure you that I want to be as far away from chaos as possible, and you need to let me go so I can get out of here."
Well, we didn't write the note with your name on it, so you're involved in it one way or another. Somebody's going to seek you out, maybe tonight. Maybe
You know more than you're telling us. And we're not going to let you go until you tell us.
Help!
Do I think she knows more? Can I make
I
an
do.
insight check?
Sure. Yeah.
I do believe
Yeah.
it's actually.
Make an insight check.
It's worth it.
All right.
Oh, sorry. Oh, that's a really bad roll. But
Yeah.
C2,
We're doing good with those tonight.
Man, these dice are
She.
really helping us.
Well, at least it's not combat, right?
Right.
Okay. So
It's not
you're
just
pretty
social.
sure that she is panicked and she thinks that there's going to be some sort of a kidnapping and or you guys are going to hang her.
like,
The
okay,
military will.
look.
Yeah. Well, you're wearing
Stop talking.
a military insignia, aren't you? And so are you, aren't you?
Maybe.
Don't the both of you have Millipole badges still on?
I'm a decorated veteran.
Yeah, but she doesn't know that. All Millipole uniforms look the same to her. As
I
far as
got
she
this
knows,
one for a
you guys
hanging
are in the
prostitute.
military right now, and you're threatening to imprison her and then hang her because she doesn't know what's going on, and you
Okay,
guys are insisting
You guys,
that you have some sort of a note that has her name written on it.
Here's the thing. We're trying to make sure that you don't get attacked or hunted down by agents of chaos if you don't know anything about them.
like, we'll
And if
protect
you-
you.
Run away, then what's to stop them from finding you? Like, we have evidence that they are absolutely coming after you and supposed to meet with you.
Like you can see like tears welling up in her eyes.
So we are
while you
not.
say this.
Erister is Erister, and he does not say things well. But
Wow.
I'm telling you, but I'm telling you
You
that
are real
we are
scary.
just trying to help. because if you run away, then they'll find you and we won't be able to help you. Can I roll persuasion?
Yes.
You can do it. You can do it. Look at you.
I feel like she would have been nodding as soon as you said
Sure.
Erister doesn't speak
Right.
well.
If I either we can roll separate or I
You
can
missed the
roll
box.
advantage.
I missed the box, but I mean, I rolled. That
Do you-
counts, right?
You get to
Yeah,
roll
Julia
to
the
advantage.
keepers.
I get to roll to advantage?
Yeah, because I'm helping you.
Sweet. Good, I'm gonna roll
Either
again,
that or we
'cause
roll
that was
separate.
crap.
I
I do not have any. I've got 0 in persuasion, by the way.
Yeah, but it was-
no good
Nothing.
at
It was a
it.
pretty good argument. Stay with us and we'll protect you because people are going to find you. And
I
kill
got
you.
a 16.
Okay. She seems to calm down a little bit with Kethra talking.
Oh, do you
And-
have some extra moonstone? We could give her a little bit of moonstone.
No, we don't have any extra.
Oh.
All of us have 3, so you could give her one of yours if you wanted to.
I
He
have
divvied them
3?
up.
Yes.
Uh,
Yeah,
did-
we
yeah.
divvied them up last time.
Okay.
Okay, so she calms down a little bit and she says, I have friends that are here. They need to be warned. I have people I care about that may be endangering themselves right now.
Let us protect them too.
Are you going to bust in on everyone who's having sex
No.
If you tell us
and
what
tell
we
them
need
that
to know-
they're protecting you from chaos?
You can let
Do you
them
know what's going to
We'll just
happen
be
when
with you.
people find out that there's chaos here?
Yeah, that's why we can't tell
That's why we
anybody.
can't tell
Because
you.
it would
What do you
incite
mean we
panic.
can't tell anyone? I have
Right, but
my
you're...
loved ones are here with me.
Okay.
Right.
But, yeah, you're the one that's in the know. They're
You're
not
the
coming
one-
after your loved ones. They're coming after you.
Right. So you're being targeted, not them. So
Right, but who's to say that they are not having sex with my sister right now? Do you think I want to bury her? She's the only person in my family who survived the attack.
I mean,
You said that I could get chaos just by being around someone like this.
you could.
So doesn't that mean that other people... Doesn't that mean that you could get chaos?
We have protection from it.
Well, my sister doesn't.
Okay, then call her and tell her to come over here.
She reaches under her skirt and pulls out a flip phone. Sammy, get your ass over to the...
I meant we can call down to the bartender and he can send a note over to the Kent City.
All right.
Well, we can't capture these cultists, these agents of chaos, until we get your assistance. So we can play around all day, or we can go hunt them down.
She says the only people that I have met with are my regular clients and a couple of the miners. My regular clients are the jeweler and his mistress. I meet with them first. And then someone in the guild hall who I'm not sure I can tell you his name, but he is very prominent in the guild hall. And then a couple clients plus Daravan. He's my boyfriend.
What's that one name?
Really?
Well, kind of.
We're
It's we comfort each other from time to time. I don't charge him, is my point. Also, the only other person I've talked to is that Weasley's Sylvester Gonish or whatever. That I have to sign in stupid book every time.
Have you been given anything to give anyone, or supposed to deliver anything to anybody?
No.
So did you in fact sign in
Yes.
with Sylvester?
Yes.
Why do you think he's slimy?
He's just a Weasley. I don't like the way he looks at me.
Really?
He leers.
Don't a lot of people though?
Yeah, but you can. It's different with him. He looks at me like he wants to hurt me instead of the way other men look at me.
Sounds like someone we know.
Yeah, like this one right over here. She points her dagger right at you, Erister.
Just ignore that. It really isn't.
If you didn't know anything that I didn't need to know, I would not be involved with your kind at all.
She.
Whoa! That's not necessary.
Indeed.
Didn't know anything. I didn't.
What part of I'm a paladin was
Yeah.
was missed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He doesn't consort with persons who sell their body for
Ladies of the evening,
for profit,
I just feel like that's a little arrogant.
for fornication purposes. Right. Okay. She says that's it. Those are the only people that I've met with
Do
since
you
I've been
know?
here.
Do you know somebody named what was it? Giovanni?
it's Gaetano
Giovanni.
Variale.
Well, that's World of Dark.
It was
Variale.
something. Gaetano. You
Gaetano.
heard Gaetano?
I don't. I mean, Gaetano is a nickname that just for a person. You know, like I met a Gaetano last night. You know, just a regular. You know, just sort of a no-name stranger. You know, there's some Gaetanos at the bar looking for you. That's all. I mean,
It's like jabroni.
yeah. I mean, you know, like.
It's like John.
I see.
I mean, I don't know anyone named that. That would be an unfortunate name
Well,
with my circles.
I mean, it's likely an alias, so we just didn't know that.
Well, I mean, that could be anyone who came in with my camp.
This would have been a while ago.
Yeah.
Is his last name mean anything to you?
We come here every month or so. So he may have come with us then. But I don't know why someone would sign that name. It doesn't. It just means dude.
What about the last name?
What was the last name again?
Variale.
Variale. That doesn't mean anything. That's not even a real last name. That's like calling somebody, you know, virtue or secret or.
Huh.
What language is that?
It's a language shared by some.
Some kind of sea rover language, I assume.
So it's a language used by the traveling people.
And others, yes.
Who are the others?
Make a knowledge. Let's see what's our local. Make a knowledge local roll, Amanda, for Kethra. She's pretty young. I don't know that she would know this.
History, maybe?
It's
Yeah.
No, it's going to be like
Is
something you know
investigation?
about the current state of affairs.
Yeah, it's usually.
Okay, well, yeah, go ahead and do. Yeah, I guess do just an intelligence check then.
Man, Catherine's not necessarily very smart.
Well,
While
she's
you're
also
at it-
young. She's also
Yeah.
young, so she hasn't been
Join the
exposed to a
club.
whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah. Oh,
That's
hey,
crazy.
17.
Okay, 17. All right, good job. Okay, so Kethra, there's certain roguish types, thieves and fences and muggers and gang members and stuff. They have like a sort of a language that they use among their own. It's like criminal speak, right? It's like a it's like saying I'm going to pop a cap in his dome. That doesn't mean anything to anyone unless you're into certain rap songs and you know that actually means I'm going to shoot somebody in the head,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
So what she's saying is that Gaetano Variale is gutter speak.
Well,
It just means like secret dude,
is that what it translates to?
basically.
Secret dude.
Variale is when you do something without letting everybody know.
On the down low.
On the DL.
No, Variale.
Dude on the DL.
No,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't understand your religious tones, paladin and priest. But in the criminal world, Variale means to do something without, do it sort of clandestine.
Mm-hmm.
So
So that makes sense.
Gaetano Variale is just like you hire a Gaetano Variale to smuggle something or to. You don't ask his name. That's what Gaetano Variale means. It's
So
someone-
that is a common phrase used together. both
Yeah,
of
but
them.
now we have to change it because I've said too much, and so the entire rogue community of Arragas is going to have a meeting next week.
Don't worry, I will forget in like an hour.
Yeah, don't worry. Don't worry. As soon as I take as soon as I see your boyfriend,
Oh,
darling.
speaking of which,
Yeah.
how long
Okay.
have you been dating that guy? How long have you and this guy been together? I'm just wondering.
Kevin, do you feel is this a line of questioning?
I feel like
She-
this is important.
her-
Yes.
Yeah, she looks at you and she says, just a few months. But they've been
So it's
magical
not
months. Magical.
How magical.
Willie, I'm
7 on a scale of 1
I'm
to
wondering if they're
totally
like
magical.
chaotically magical, not like magical.
She says,
Took it too
"What?
far.
What needs to happen now?" She puts her knife
Okay.
away. She puts her knife away back into her little thigh sheath,
So
and she says, "I need to tell people I love."
Well, first thing
But-
you should break up with your boyfriend.
No, I need to
Catherine,
tell. I'm going to
we
tell
have
him
other
first.
matters to attend to.
I'm going to tell him first.
I just feel like it would be better for him if you just broke up with him.
I think what you should probably do
I'm not going to do that.
is go about your day as if we never spoke.
But
Then
That'll
I
be
can
hard.
follow along behind you and make sure nothing untoward happens to you.
and look, if you get a client, if you're told to go see a client that you've never seen before, let us know beforehand, because that's probably who we're looking for.
But you cannot tell everyone about this, including your loved ones, because then a panic will take place. A riot. Panic.
And who do you
Right.
think that they will blame for all of this?
Oh, back here again.
Heirs to Orleans.
Definitely not me.
She says,
And you should break up with your boyfriend.
"I am not going to break up with Aravan.
Especially.
I'm going to go back
Just
and
an idea.
we're gonna have panicked lovemaking session, which is heightened adrenaline. So there's going to be all kinds of energy, just all kinds of energy spewing out of both of us.
That's very selfish.
And I'm I will not tell people anything about chaos.
Okay.
Erister,
Whoa, wait a minute.
roll an insight check.
Can I roll inside
You've
on
already-
that too?
you've already-
'Cause I feel like
No,
that-
yeah, you can roll inside at a disadvantage because you keep imagining her and Daravan doing
Oh,
things that you
not
want you
good.
and Daravan to do.
Okay, I'm gonna roll it.
Inside at disadvantage.
Oh no, I got a 16! Damn it! It's gonna be like a 1.
It's gonna be next
It's
time.
better than mine.
8.
8.
Wait, 8, 5 plus 5
It's 13.
is 13. So the 16 actually would have been like a... Anyways, I got an 18.
Okay.
I got a 5.
What?
No, I got I got a 13. 13, 13,
Okay.
13.
I was like, wait, what?
Not an 18.
How did an 8
I
become an
just
18?
I mixed
Okay.
all my numbers. I got a 13.
Okay, so she says that she's not going to tell anyone about chaos. And the way she says it, you know that she is going to warn people without trying to bring up chaos. That's her plan. Her plan is to like just make up a reason for why they should stop having sex
Just
with people, and don't
Tell
meet
you
with
what,
anybody that you don't
How
already
about I
know.
follow you around as your hired bodyguard?
That would not work very well because you will kill all of my business.
Or what
I
if...
swear I will not
Hey,
draw my
Erister,
sword.
You
yeah,
are a-
I'm gonna-
you are
yeah,
a-
Okay, but
Erister-
whoever we're looking for would not meet with her if there's a bodyguard involved.
It makes
I
more
mean, that's
sense to
going
say
to-
there's a sneaky panther that no one can see sneaking around. Doesn't that
But-
sound like
What's a
that makes
panther in Watonga Mining Complex? It'll
Yeah,
only take
right.
one person to see her skulking around, and then there'll be a hunting party out.
No one will see her.
Pappy McAllister got rocks and cans. What do you think of
Yeah, Panther's
Lone
gonna get
Panther's
swords and
gonna
arrows.
get-
Someone's gonna want to take her pelt for a cape.
If they see
Ooh, I would do that.
I'd like to.
Well, it's
Panther
broad
Jack would
daylight.
be pretty awesome.
It's broad daylight.
So if you
I mean,
must,
you may become a panther if you wish.
I did. That was just
But
like Catherine.
as a druid, you would know that becoming a panther in a
Yeah,
civilized
no.
town in the broad daylight
That's real
is
dumb.
less. Yeah.
Catherine just knows when she goes
Yeah.
panther. She
Okay.
goes, "Ooh."
if you must tell anyone
Can I-
anything, just ask them to only see their regulars,
Yeah.
Fine.
Say somebody's been hurting people.
Fine.
or you have a bad feeling about the night.
Fine.
Because of the gloaming.
Because of the gloaming.
There you go.
Yeah.
Just
But I already
Only see
had a
their
bad feeling
regulars.
because of the gloaming. This happened because of the gloaming.
Mm-hmm.
I was supposed to give a massage to 3 people, which, by the way, is 20 griffins.
Hey, still not paid.
Did
I
I?
remember you saying to keep the money.
Oh, I see. I see how this goes. Yeah,
No,
no,
no.
below me.
We'll give you that.
Winky took the money.
Yeah, I
Technically,
paid
the
you.
money was gone as soon as Winky left because
That's true.
he wouldn't
Yeah,
even
we
go
had-
visit
Winky
her.
has my money?
And he took
Yes.
50 griffins
He
from
took,
us.
yeah, I gave him, they were my griffins.
What?
It was 50, yeah.
He's been cutting you out. He's also extremely untrustworthy. Last time he ran a camp, tickle grip was everywhere.
She shudders visibly.
In fact, I'm sure he's riddled with it.
Oh, I don't sleep with my boss.
Excellent.
And if I'm going to have a discussion with him about our current pay structure, and if he doesn't come completely clean with me, I won't tell him about the chaos at all.
No, we don't tell him about it.
You don't tell him anyways.
No, I won't.
Okay.
Like, even when
Or anybody else.
it's real and you guys, discover whoever it is you think you've discovered.
Oh, okay.
You guys still haven't shown her the note or anything.
Yeah,
Like, she's literally going off of just the fact that your stories seem to align.
can you guys show her?
Also,
I
somebody
don't
knocks
have
on
the
the
note,
door.
otherwise I would have shown her the note.
Someone knocks on the door, and then the door opens, and Grimgrom is standing in the doorway.
Who's going to go?
Who's Grimgrom? The dwarf who owns the veiny shaft.
Yeah. Okay.
Hi, Grimgrom.
Hey, Grimgrom.
Yeah, and he's holding a huge 2-handed hammer, and he says, "What's going on in here?
Just
Why are people screaming about?"
We were just doing an
little role play.
I was
Little
screaming. I thought I saw a mouse.
I told him
There aren't
This
any
is
mice
clean
in the
for
veiny
mice.
shaft.
Right,
Yeah.
I was mistaken.
Of course you were.
Indeed.
At this point, Saris begins edging her way towards the door now that Grimgrom is in the room, and she's like, "I'm just leaving. We're
think we have
our
another
business
20
is
minutes."
finished is here."
Hold on. And I dig in my pouch and I pull out a little moonstone and hand it to her.
She looks at it and says, "Where am I gonna put that? I already have this amulet."
Yeah, but that amulet won't protect you against anything that we're talking about. So here.
Well, so I have to just carry that around in my hand all day?
Unless you
Yeah,
have
like,
somewhere else to
put it in
put
your
it.
bag or.
Well, I don't, and you'll never know if I do.
You're right.
Do you have like a little
pull
pouch?
out a little piece of
It's-
leather and I'll grab the moonstone
Oh.
and I'll wrap it up into a little pendant and then I'll like tie it around her neck and here you go.
Fine. She flinches at first, but then once she realizes you're just tying it around her neck, then she lets you. She also sniffs your hair.
It smells like cedar.
I know. It smells like the woods. She makes that comment, that very comment. Like, you smell like the woods,
Yep.
like the wilderness.
Mm-hmm. We'll be close. Yeah.
Cheeks.
And she leaves with Grimgrom, and Grimgrom says, "Listen, it's too early in the morning for all this screaming about. I don't care what you do with your money, but keep it down. Other people are trying to get drunk."
I know, they're so crazy.
I know. I have another beer, speaking of which. I finished this
Yeah, it's waiting at the bar.
one. Sweet. Thanks, buddy. You're the best.
All right, so Saris leaves. Grimgrom goes back out to the bar. What do the 4 of you do?
Should I follow her?
Oh, we absolutely have to stay close. I mean, she
I
has to be able to
can
us.
help you. I can follow her too. Especially to make sure she doesn't have sex with her boyfriend again. That might be a good idea.
I'll go with you and stop you.
That's
from
when the
being
panther
in a
strikes.
jealous
The
rage.
panther strikes during the passionate lovemaking.
I am kind of worried about the boyfriend now because he was like really nice and everything, and I think we really, really liked him, but I don't know if we like really liked him too much. Like maybe he might have messed with our heads.
You guys know that agents of chaos have the ability to mess with your memories and to charm you into doing things that you wouldn't normally do.
Yeah,
they
but
can command
of
you
course.
to do horrible things. They can. They twist people's minds and hearts. That's how chaos gets in.
Yeah, but I'm also a 16-year-old girl who found a super hot guy.
There's also
All
a
of that is
raging
true.
alcoholic.
And I like to drink. So,
Yeah.
I'm just
Alcoholic
saying.
at 16, the
Ah.
Kefir soda.
I just like beer. It doesn't make me an alcoholic.
Chapter 1
I like a good
through
beer.
7, all the beers I've had. All right. You guys go out into the main area of the Faney Shaft, and it's surprisingly much more full than it normally is at this time of day. And you guys, it dawns on you that very few people have actually gone to work. Some people are in the mines actually working, but most people are out here just sort of hanging about and
Recovering.
having extra pancakes and drinking beer.
Just
And they have 1 or 2 new friends that are hanging about that are colorfully dressed. There are some people playing instruments in the common room. And it dawns on you guys, wait a second, where's Vesper? Wasn't he also following Saris? Where did he go?
No idea.
Yeah,
Lily,
where
where'd your girlfriend go? Yeah.
Oh, I don't like walking with him. It's
Yeah,
kinda
they-
awkward.
I don't blame you a lot.
They split up. They split up.
I tried to go on a mission with him once.
What?
It worked out. There was total
You're not here.
secrecy. I'm sorry.
I'm just
felt
rude and
myself.
unintentional.
I'm just gonna follow her
It's
around.
okay.
No.
As unstealthy as I can be.
No.
I don't threaten
Casually.
women, so I don't know what I did.
Makaria doesn't know how to improv, so that was a very uncomfortable situation
Oh.
for her. She
Yeah.
The ambassador to
Yeah.
Cambodia.
We had the plan A, and then as soon as
Erister,
we
just
crossed the
look
threshold, plan A was out, but nobody told Makari.
She's gonna start
Wow.
telling
So-
people.
And if she does, the druid will hear it. Let the druid follow her around. You're too big, you're too loud. You're all paladin-y everywhere.
Have you ever heard the phrase, the cat's out of the bag?
Well, yeah, and this would make sense because then if the cat following the chick would be out of the bag.
That's
I'm just
not
saying. It's
How
like
it actually goes at all.
you're
Once
not,
she tells somebody, then
She
the
not-
panic is going to be caused.
no, it's not gonna happen.
All right, well,
She
let's
was
roll
really
the
nice.
dice.
She
See
was
how it
really
goes.
nice.
All right, so you're following her. Okay,
I'm
Yeah.
following.
but you're not trying
A
to be.
safe distance.
Yeah, but you're not. Are you trying to? You're not trying to be inconspicuous, though, right?
Nope.
You don't care if she sees that you're following her.
Right.
Okay.
I don't care if she sees that I'm following her.
Okay. She walks through the tent area and goes back to Daravan's tent, and she hugs him and she whispers something in his ear, and he very briefly, like, you see his eyes look up at you, and then he looks back down at her and he says something to her, and then they go into his tent.
That's when the panic starts. Right there.
So you're gonna stand outside the panic tent?
Shh, no, I'm not saying right outside.
Yeah.
No, there's going to be too many scents in there. This lingering
A plethora.
smells.
A plethora of aromas.
I don't need to be anywhere near any of that.
Yeah.
I will stand far away.
Okay, but you're gonna keep an eye on the tent?
Yes.
Okay, until she emerges?
Yep.
Okay.
I will too on the back side of the tent.
Okay. Are you going to be an elf or are you going to be something else?
I will be a cat.
What color of a cat are you going to be?
It's so cute.
Yeah, here. Can we show the people at home?
Yeah.
It's a little baby kitty. Kitty.
Oh my god. It is so tiny.
This is the cat I normally am. Meow. This is the cat I normally am, which
I wanted
is
her to be the
much
ferret.
bigger.
Yeah. All right.
The marmot.
So you transform into a cat and perch up into a position where you can see if anyone is going to try to leave the back end of the tent.
Mm-hmm. And like, if I sense any crazy chaos going on or smell any crazy chaos going on. I am totally
Yeah,
not
okay.
thinking
So
about
just
it. that way.
just so
Ever.
just so everybody is clear, just so everyone is clear, none of you has ever seen, smelled, or heard crazy chaos going on, with the exception of
The dog.
Macaria
The rhino dog.
and Erister. No, that's a rhino dog that was infused with chaos. You don't know that that's chaos smell. That could be
That's
rhino
what I
dog
think
smell.
it is.
That could be rhino dog.
I had a chaos
You know.
cloud coming up my face.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Arister and Macaria actually saw the miasma firsthand and lived to tell about
I
it.
smelled it on the smoldering bodies
Yeah, but they're
of
just
my
old
dead
people.
family.
Nobody else, that's correct. Your wife and daughter had marks on their bodies that indicated to you that something had escaped the boneyard and killed your family.
Yep.
That is correct. Okay, so
Macaria, do you want to play cops?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
are you guys playing drinking games at the
Yeah,
Vanity
that's
Shaft?
definitely happening.
Okay, great. You guys, I'll say that you guys end up spending just 2 griffins between mid-morning and high noon, which is going to be, what did I call it? Sext, between tierce and sext, okay? The 3rd hour and the 6th hour of the
Sex
day.
has been going on for a while now.
No, that's not. No. You guys get a good meal out of it too. Tiny tacos if you want, or some. He also apparently makes some really good dwarven pancakes. He's been sending out piles of griddle cakes to different tables with all kinds of sugary syrups to cover them with. Some
God, that
fruit
sounds
based, some tree sap based, which that sounds too elven for a dwarf to be doing, but apparently it tastes pretty good. You guys, they spend the better part of the morning, right up till lunch in the tent, doing things that lovers do.
What's that?
I am going to
What do
mill
lovers
about, kick some rocks,
You don't know because the tent flaps are very
Oh, okay.
sturdy.
keep an eye
Incredibly
out
sturdy.
for ne'er-do-wells.
Okay. You can pretty much see ne'er-do-wells everywhere.
Super.
There's like some of the miners are already stupid drunk and they're wandering around. They just pee on other people's tents and they're just doing the camp followers. The camp followers are about the same. So there are some people that you can tell are there to just entertain, right? They do close-up magic. They do some songs and some dancing and things like that.
Is there any opportunity for me to scold any of them while I'm standing here?
Absolutely. There's plenty of scolding to be had.
I will dispense justice in the form of harsh words for all these people.
Yeah.
Only when they're doing property.
Go ahead and roll a die 8 for me to see how many people you scold.
Wow, sweet. Scold some people. 7 people get
Oh
scolded.
my god. Alright, so
there's
you
going to be some tisking, some finger wagging.
yeah.
You kids.
You actually
that
get to
tent.
use the word chicanery in a sentence and it puffs you up a little bit.
Right.
You're like, this sort of chicanery is uncalled for. Right? You hear someone clear their throat behind you.
I turn around.
It's Winky Pig Bottom.
Oh,
And he says, you haven't changed a bit. And then
you
he
haven't either.
harumps and he knocks the dust off of his top hat and puts it back on and he just walks off.
I throw a rock at his head.
No, that's not very paladin-y.
Well,
If you're going to throw the rock, you need to make a dexterity attack roll.
there is another paladin deity of vengeance.
Okay.
Yeah.
This could be the first
thank
step
you
on
for
the
reminding
path.
me. Thank you for reminding me. All right.
Of my down. Oh, look at that.
Boom.
It is a 23.
What? All right. All right. You pick up a rock and you knock his top hat clean off of his head, and
I turn away.
he picks it up and he
Whistle.
He. Damn you! Downstairs for wing of fire. You can't even understand. He's so incensed that like just slobber is coming out of his mouth. His face is beet red.
I look around, like a little startled and confused that he would be so upset for no reason.
the guy that you were scolding that's standing right next to you, he was like, that was really good. I should learn how to throw rocks at people without them knowing.
If you look to the
Yeah,
corner,
don't throw rocks.
if you look to the corner of the tent, there's a cat sitting there just shaking his head.
Yeah, it's not Pappy McAllister. It's not Pappy
Okay.
McAllister. Okay, so you guys are on your 6th round of Tip Cup, right?
Oh,
It's all tied up 3-3. Okay, so this is important.
Okay, yeah. Very important. What do we
First,
roll,
I
Sean?
need you to make a Constitution check.
No.
Let's go.
My constitution, I don't
Come out
believe
here doing
is
paladin
good.
stuff. Important paladin stuff.
Yelling at the children.
Yeah.
Well, you know,
Where's
they're
constitution?
near-do-wells.
It's just going to be your
Is the check the
stat.
same as the saving throw?
Yeah, it's
Oh,
Like,
constitution
I
is
guess
just
if I
a
have to
thing.
save it.
yeah, just Constitution. Yeah. No, this is not a save. This is just a Constitution check. Yeah, you're not being crazy or anything.
then-
Do I get a +2 though for that?
You get whatever your Constitution modifier is.
Okay.
So die 20 plus whatever con.
Dirty 20.
Okay, dirty 20. Uh-oh.
10.
You need to take the springs out of the base
I
of your
know.
box.
Mine's
I
real
don't know.
bouncy.
Yeah.
Okay, down. I got a. No, it's okay, Julie. Thank you for making these boxes so often.
If you pull the
Um,
corners up and then like squish it down again, then it like.
Okay, I got a.
so-
I got a 12.
All right. So Makaria is able to get all the way through the round, and she doesn't. She seems like just as skilled and as adept as she was in the very beginning.
Yeah.
You're getting that really pleasant, warm feeling behind your kneecaps.
Yeah.
That tells you that you got a nice buzz going on
Okay.
right now. You're like, yeah, am I winning? Okay, so both of you make 2 dex checks, 2 dexterity checks to see who wins the race. We'll see who has the higher success rate.
Okay.
Ha! 20! Natural 20!
Uh-oh.
Wow.
So actually, it's a 22.
Regular dex though.
Yeah,
Okay,
dex
so
status.
it's that one's 22.
Oh.
17 plus 2. I got 19.
17 plus 3. Boom!
Oh!
I rolled a 20! That should count for something!
So
Damn it.
you beat Makaria to the end of the table, but that last cup is just giving you the worst trouble. And Makaria pulls it off just as your cup flips. Her cup is already flipped. Right? Okay.
Only
So-
you
Good game. Good game. Okay, good game. GG. GG, bro.
When the crowd who is watching stops cheering, someone clears their throat. And you look over and you see Weenegg standing in the bar.
I'm a little too intoxicated to deal with him right now.
Oh, he's standing in a pose. He's posed, right? He's got a big hammer, but it's not like a weapon hammer. It looks like some sort of a carpentry tool. Like it's like for digging posts. I mean, like driving posts into the ground, right? It's just a big hammer.
Yeah.
And he's wearing a leather blacksmith's apron. And he has like a knife. And he has taken the time to grab some charcoal or some soot or something from a fireplace. And he's smeared black all over his right hand.
Okay.
And he says, Kethra, I wish you farewell. Thank you for showing me the ways of Ara, but I have decided that the priesthood is not for me, and instead I am going to answer a higher calling. I am going to become a paladin of Grimnir. And he waits for applause or something.
Hold on. No.
You can see
I'm
that
gonna roll.
he's
6-sided die.
purchased.
3 or higher, I bust up laughing. Lose it. Laugh really hard.
I
just laugh.
He scrunches up his face and he says,
I just laugh.
I'm not a paladin yet, but as Grimnir's scrolls or whatever probably teach, I'm sure courage will be enough.
Erase my beard and tell him good luck. Wish him the best.
I wish you the best as well, and no hard feelings. But I'm off to enforce Grimnir's will upon the evil doers of this land. And should you need my assistance, don't hesitate to call.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
See you, Winnie.
Bye.
It's Weeneg,
You like
That's
Winnie?
what I said.
aspirant paladin of Grimnir. That's my full name now. Weeneg, aspirant paladin of Grimnir.
Well, I'm glad that I could help lead you down this path.
Waphog.
Good luck.
If you have to turn
Good
it
luck
into
at
initials.
Paladin School.
I'm off to Arragas.
Paladin School's no joke. Just to let you guys know, it's tough.
Yeah.
I just graduated from Paladin School.
Erister. Okay.
It's a 40% fail rate.
All right. So he leaves the bar
Oh my god, I'm
With
so
his-
glad I don't have to deal with that dude anymore.
with his hammer and with his weapons and his armor. Basically, it's like whatever he could afford to buy up at the Motherlode. So he bids you farewell. Thanks. In his own way, he was being heartfelt.
Yeah,
thanks,
he
thanks
was.
for showing me, that I could be more.
I would have been much nicer if I wasn't drunk. But
Well, I think he's only ever run into you when you were drunk, right? So he doesn't know that there's
I
any
think
other
one
state.
time I was sober.
In the very beginning when you were
In your life.
proselytizing, are you sure?
Yeah, when I was proselytizing, I'm pretty sure I wasn't drinking.
That's
Okay,
a loose definition.
That might be.
for-
I'm pretty sure it wasn't.
That might be. Okay.
You know,
So
you
Weeneg
choose
comes
to
and
do
goes.
something else besides prophetizing yourself.
No. All right. Saris leaves Daravan's tent with Daravan.
All right, I follow them.
Follow
They
them like
travel around for a little bit. They find another young woman who has the same yellow blonde hair as Saris, but her eyes are more hazel, and she's also smaller and of a more delicate frame. They say some things to her. The young girl looks defiant and then laughs about something and then looks defiant again and then storms off. And Saris looks visibly upset, and Daravan consoles her by putting one of his very muscly arms around her, and you notice
Youth.
you notice that she fits almost perfectly into like his armpit inside.
His rugged arm.
Yeah, like a giant lion just cuddling one of its cubs. She just fits right in there. She nestles in.
Sounds real cozy to me.
Yeah. It actually kind of reminds you of yesteryear with the missus.
Yeah.
You used to be able to hold her like that too.
Once upon a time.
Okay, so it gets on into the afternoon. She bids adieu to Daravan, and you guys follow her around. She visits a few more tents.
Do I see anybody in these tents?
Yeah, they're miners. Yeah,
They're just normal miner folk.
So they seem to be just miners. None of the miners that you have actually interviewed or sort of run into, but they're miners that you've seen around when you're in the mines. So it looks as if she hits her high profile clients first when she first gets to Watonga, and then cleans up for the rest of the day with just whomever is willing to pay her price. She does eventually catch up with Winky. They have a spat. Winky tells her that she earns the standard guild share of 40%, and that no one else in their outfit is paid as high as she is, and she's lucky to get what she does get because Winky has connections, and she would do well to remember that Winky has connections. Like you would be doing the same thing, but for street fodder if it wasn't for Winky Pink Bottom, and don't you forget it. What do you want to roll before you?
Is there any point as Winky turn to walk away?
Yeah.
Loading another.
Are you
one
gonna
up.
throw a rock at him?
Yeah, just the hat.
All right. All right. Do it.
Look at that, 21.
What?
We've been rolling crap
You
tonight,
just-
but
you need
Eric
to
is
rocks
on those
to the
rocks.
back.
Oh, the
All
car.
right.
Like, you're really good at this.
His hat topples. He stops in his tracks and looks at the hat now laying on the
I
ground.
turn away and pretend I was. I'm just gonna dither
Picks it up.
around.
Dither.
Do a dither.
He picks it up, dusts it off. He looks over his shoulder, and he puts it on, and then he flicks his coattails at you as he continues walking away.
Very wrong.
Were he pantsless, you would have seen his arse.
Okay,
Okay.
fair enough.
All right, and that's what he calls it
Yeah.
because it makes it that much more dickish, like kiss my arse, right? Okay. All right. You do notice, however, that as the day progresses, both of you notice this. More and more people are making their way to the Veiny Shaft. Miners and camp followers, and even some of the soldiers are making their way towards the Veiny Shaft. Go ahead and the two of you make intelligence checks.
I love intelligence. I just
I'm
wish I
real
had
dumb.
some. Not bad. A 17 for me.
Very good.
He was feeling real
Smarter.
confident.
60.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Okay,
Smarter
so
I never have a character with less than 12. Just don't do it.
He's smarter
yeah, you
than
gotta
me.
be. Brains goes a long ways.
Yeah.
Or brains go a long ways. If you're smart enough.
Yeah.
Overrated.
Okay, so the both of you, it dawns on you, oh man, a super crowded place with lots of people jostling and running into each other. What a perfect place for a meeting. Like,
Indeed.
you could just blend into the crowds there and nobody would even notice. Or conversely, if everyone's going to the Veiny Shaft, that's going to open up a whole bunch of possible clandestine meeting places throughout Watonga Mining Complex.
But I know who we're meeting with, so
Yeah,
keep my eyes
you
peeled.
can follow Saris. Yeah. All right, she makes her way to the shaft. By the time you guys catch up to the shaft, Makaria and Kethra are well on their way towards needing some food. Okay, but you guys at first you didn't really notice the crowd was pressing in because they were sort of cheering you guys, and some of them were even playing some of the drinking games with you. But now you sort of look up and you're like, holy cow! Like it's really like it's full in here. There are probably 80 people in the bar all told, right? And more people trying to squeeze in.
Do I bear witness to them being super hammered?
You have not yet.
Super hammered.
You have not yet entered the.
I mean, I'm not.
I see.
Neither, you're not. I'm getting there. I just
As
need
the,
some food.
As a back door to the room opens, you see a lovely female elf enter, and with a lute, right?
Yes.
Does Pippi have a lute?
A lady bard of some renown, I presume.
Yes.
That's
she-
kind of a pointy head.
We used to have a bard somewhere.
Her
bard
flowing
flowing locks.
her flowing
Have we tried this
blonde
on
and pink
Yeah.
locks
Why yes? What are you talking about?
accentuate the curves of her very feminine face.
No.
And
Wait.
she
Elegant.
takes the stage and she begins. She's acting as if there's no one else in the room, right? She just gets up there and she's just as natural as can be, and she begins tuning her lute and sort of doing little throat exercises and whatever. And several of the miners start to like gather near the stage, and they're admiring her, and some of them are making lewd comments about her, and
You hush up.
yeah, and she just deals with hecklers in a very professional manner. Is there anything that in particular that Pippi is going to play tonight? Was there anything in particular, or just a standard? Remember, you've got that song list, and you can tell me what you want to do with the crowd, whether you want to, rev them up, or whether you want to get them laughing,
Yeah.
or whether you want to, bring it down. Like let's remember the Battle of the Boneyard and make it somber before picking everything back up again. Remember, Pippi has a song list that she can.
A little repertoire.
Yes. So why don't you think about what you want the first? We'll divide your set list into 3 phases. How about that?
Okay.
So you can tell me what you want for phase 1, phase 2, phase 3.
All right. So I guess phase 1 would be the introduction, right?
Well, sure. I
So,
mean,
like,
people are gonna know
the-
your poster is everywhere,
Yeah.
and by everywhere I mean right by the door.
Yeah.
So
Wherever
your
your
poster is everywhere, right?
There's a word that matters.
Yeah. Grimgrom comes up to you and he says, "Don't tear my place up. Any damages, I'm taking out of your feet."
Don't you worry, Grimgrom. It's going to be a great time.
Grumble, and he walks away.
You've always had a way with words.
All right. He waves you off. He goes back to the bar. People are ordering tiny tacos like they're going out of style. Saris makes it to the Veiny Shaft. The two of you make it to the Veiny Shaft shortly thereafter. The place is packed.
Okay.
It's not yet nightfall. It dawns on you that you haven't seen Restus, and he said that he would be back.
Today, yeah.
He said he would come back today. He and his patrol actually got sent north to Fort Murdo to find out, to assess and find out how far the goblins were coming south. If you remember, when you guys first exited the mine shaft through that sort of natural air chute, you encountered a band of goblins there, and they attacked you. And so that was news to Millipole at Fort Prescio. They didn't think that the goblins were ranging that far south. And Fort Murdo was supposed to be handling this problem. So Commander Logan sent Restus and his unit north to find out what's going on. And they were supposed to be back today, but they're not back. But there are some Millipole soldiers that are here in the shaft, along with a ton of miners and a whole bunch of the camp followers.
So literally every suspect in town.
No, you don't see. Well, let me. I'm going to try to run down your suspects.
Sneaky dudes.
So you don't. Do you still suspect Trevor and Nola, the jeweler and his mistress?
I actually haven't spoken with them myself, so not really, because I'm relying on what my comrades have told me.
Yeah, they are not present.
Okay.
So you don't see Trevor or Nola.
Is
there.
Sylvester there?
Sylvester Gonish is not present. No, he's probably keeping track of everyone who's coming and going. That's what he does. He sort of obsesses over those books. He's kind of a weirdo in that regard. I mean, he's great for the job.
Well,
But he's OCD
I'm
about
gonna find a
making
corner
people sign
to hold
notes.
up in.
Okay.
I'm gonna start
Observe and
Okay.
push all the other Gaetanos out of my line of vision.
And look at the
Get all these
very
guys
pretty lady
out of
on stage and potentially make a perception check.
Okay. So could you describe Pippi's physical attributes for me? Because I forget.
Vast physical attributes.
I mean, I know her hair is blonde and pink, but is her
Dress
skin?
is, let's say, it's like red sparkles, I guess.
Okay, sequins.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then
Like
Let's
Jessica
see.
Rabbity?
lots of bracelets, jewels.
Aside from the hair.
As an
It's
elf,
kind of like a whirling dervish thing.
as an elf, is her skin bluish, pink, or green?
I'd say it's blue.
I mean, purple, like
it's
lavender.
still blue.
Okay, so it's blue, similar in many ways to Vesper Preslin's
Yeah,
skin color.
probably some body glitter.
Plus body glitter. I don't know that they have such a thing, but
You can make
okay.
yourself sparkle.
Probably
That's
some
what I was about to say.
Or
He's got it.
So
some arsenic-based makeup.
Magic to make body glitter.
okay, you guys look around. Ogda the Bog Witch is there. She
Your
raises
favorite.
a glass to you, Kethra.
No.
You guys look around. Mon and Mol Kosel are there. The two brothers. The brothers that lost their third brother.
Which hopefully we will avenge soon whenever we catch this bastard.
Daravan is there. With Saris. Saris meets with him and they sit together. Yeah, Daravan the muscle bound. The very nice. His teeth are straight and his hair is
It's really pretty.
also straight.
Shining and
He's
Try and keep it together.
super tall.
Just keeping it together.
He's wearing that loose shirt again, the one that doesn't really button fully in the front.
You are super wasted, so.
Keeping it
Yeah.
together.
Keep that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Actually, what I'm gonna
Um,
do is not
It's
ask
not
Iggy later.
He
Yeah.
does carry beef
What would
jerky
you
in
do?
his pocket, so
Was there?
probably some jerky.
Obviously the other employees of the shaft are there. So Alexis is the waitress. She's there. She's hustling and bustling, going through, slapping at miners who are groping at her. Bella is there doing, dancing basically on tables, and she's actually dancing with lots of the camp followers, and you get the impression that she is friends with a lot of them, like when they come to visit, and that in fact some of her dancing techniques are inspired by what she's seen the camp followers do. Like it dawns on you now, like, oh, Bella also wears a bunch of scarves and they're colorful, and a lot of her motions are similar to the ones that you see some of the other camp followers dancing. Pippi opens up with just a jaunty little tune while people are already dancing. She starts a little tune to
Well, it's like the.
keep the rhythm.
It's time to play the music. It's time to light up lights. It's time to meet Pippi on the Pippi Show tonight.
Yeah.
And I want
Okay,
a minor
Jim Henson
illusion.
and Descendants, please do not sue me.
I want a minor illusion. Special effects was going on. Stars and
Stripes.
a small little unicorn goes by. And rainbow.
A miner throws a rock at the small unicorn.
What's wrong with you?
And miners are kind of assholes.
He thought it was Pappy.
I've picked up some bad habits since I've been here.
Yeah. Throwing rocks at things. Rock throwing.
I feel a lot of shit. I'm gonna have
Yeah.
to pray really hard about that.
You're gonna. Yep. When you get back to Arragas, there's gonna be some penance for throwing rocks at people.
I'm gonna have to tell my paladin mentor.
Oh my
He's gonna send me back to mandatory paladins.
Yeah.
It's gonna be bad, but it was worth it deep down in my
Did
core.
you smite chaos? Yes.
And
Did
a
you stand up for justice? Yes. Did you throw any rocks? Did you throw any rocks? Yes. Oh.
Before we start throwing rocks, could I roll a performance?
Yes. So you're gonna roll performance. This is gonna be for the intro phase,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, natural one.
Natural.
What?
Is there
All
any
right.
way I can help?
Can
Okay.
I'll cast Fairy Fire to give him advantage.
You.
I feel
I've
like
got other songs. Well,
What?
I feel
Okay. Well,
like-
what were you doing for the intro? You trying to rev everybody up?
yeah.
All right. So
That's like the wow factor, right?
odd.
I'm tempted to
It's
cause a
coming out.
scene just to save the day.
We don't know who that is, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I
You guys-
feel awkward.
you guys-
stranger, the
Yeah.
performing stranger. I have a
Odd.
lot of social
It
anxiety.
goes wrong. Even it goes a little too well.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Okay. So you get to fiddling and a faddling and a tooting and whatever you're doing and singing, and the miners start clapping and they're stomping and they're like banging their mugs on the tables in rhythm, and people start dancing and everyone's cheering and having a good time, and then all of a sudden somebody goes yeah, and then the ceramic mug hits the wall, and then all of a sudden people are banging things and smashing chairs and throwing mugs everywhere, and Grim Grom is like but you can't hear him because everyone's like, yeah, woo-ah, and
More
you're just like,
unicorns. I'm trying to spit them out as fast as
you're
I
trying
can.
to, like every time you strum, like a new unicorn comes out, and you're just trying to distract people.
Maybe a slow ballad would help.
Yeah.
Like,
Some people get up on the stage and begin actually dancing on stage, like between you and the crowd,
Right.
which is actually that's a huge no-no. Like the crowd needs to see you, Pippi.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you need to shoo these guys off.
I put unicorns right in front of their face.
One of the guys just kind of swats at him. The other guy panics. He's like, and he runs off the stage,
Success.
crashes into somebody else's table.
If there's any more, I'll just butt bump them.
Yeah. All right. You managed to clear the stage.
Come on. Show's going on.
Grimgrom is super angry. The crowd is super revved up. They love you, right? People are starting to throw money on the stage.
All right.
And you're thinking to yourself, like, man, I hope it's enough to cover the damages.
is anybody shouting out requests?
Not yet. Are you
Okay.
going to shout out a request?
Yeah.
All right. Go
All
ahead.
right, we're good.
I'm going to shout out to request the Rose of Orleans.
Rose of Orleans. You hear someone in the back. Play Rose of Orleans.
My family's ballad.
Well, I could never refuse one of my fans. So.
We did go over the lyrics
You think you don't know who
with
they are.
Vesper. So, just
So what you're thinking is you wish Vesper was here because he might actually hear it sung correctly.
right. If you'll recall,
Are you
he had
doing
no idea how to sing that.
Okay,
song.
so
Yeah,
by the way, remember that natural one, you need to roll, you need to add your modifier to whatever that song was that you were trying to rev everybody with.
Yeah,
Remember?
I'm clean.
Remember?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it -1?
It's a -1, yep. The next time you
Alright.
play it, you're at a -1.
All right.
And every time you fumble or whatever, it'll change.
Just never play that song again. It's got a black mark. It's a
Whatever.
horrible song.
That's the best one.
The
Rose
Pippi
of
It's a
show.
little too much.
The Pippi show tonight.
That's it. All right. Play the Rose of Orleans.
Okay.
Since I'm really not familiar with this song, I'm gonna do my best, y'all.
Elves.
Y'all.
All the elves. How do they not know this song?
All right.
It's
Yeah.
extremely
Seriously. Yeah. It's very. Wasn't it sort of an elven battle? Or
popular.
was it? I don't remember.
It was humans.
It was a bridge.
Yeah. It was,
Yeah.
I'm sure it was mixed. I'm sure it was mixed.
Yeah, but what side was your family fighting? Like,
The good side.
well,
You're
yeah,
on the
but
good guy side.
yeah, okay, no, yeah, we can go over it later.
I got a 17.
A 17. All right, so the Rose of Orleans comes out. People start calming down. There are a few rugged resistance fighters who still insist on just dancing, like they're going to keep dancing even though the rhythm is wrong, and they're starting to feel sad about it.
I'm gonna
And
make sure they sit down.
yeah, and it's like those drunk people that you see at the bar that just keep dancing no matter what song is on, and they just keep the same thing, right? By the end of it, everyone, I mean, there are a few people weeping.
So
Some
maybe
of the
comedic?
people, yeah,
I'm thinking a comedic song.
It's misty every time.
yeah. Everyone is remembering people they've lost, people who died. Everyone calms down and sort of orders another round of drinks,
It's good. Bad.
which
Great ballad.
which makes Grimgrom happy because he just made a whole bunch of money,
Are you already
and
drinking?
people are
You seem kind of
I
excited.
don't imbibe alcohol.
I still
people are wiping their faces
Oh,
and they got their arms around their buddies and they're raising toasts, and you finish the song and everyone claps, like you brought them low.
All right.
You brought them low. They're very sad.
All right.
What's the?
I see some of y'all are sad out there tonight, and I feel your pain. Because I've had times when people have stolen little tiny tacos right off my plate. So this next one,
People look at you weird.
everyone, this one's called I Bequeath to the Taco Thief. All right, here we go now.
Victoria, did you steal tiny tacos from her too?
I don't
Aware.
remember.
Oh, weird.
All are my tiny
Taco
tacos?
thieves.
Oh, where could they be?
I know nothing about
I
this
looked
type of
on the table. I looked underneath. Son of a gun, they're on the run. I bequeathed to the taco thief.
Excellent.
All right, that was
Now
good.
that-
Yeah, no, I like that.
I don't care what
Let's,
you roll. My
yeah, let's-
character goes crazy.
Let's roll that one with advantage.
Yeah.
Since you actually came up with some lyrics.
A John
That's a
Taylor
good
voice.
one. That's
Don't
a good
expect
one.
that. Oh,
That was a
okay.
special treat.
4 and
Oh,
Oh, so
Okay.
many lives were
Hazard.
lost just now.
and 18.
Okay, great. People start laughing. People start stealing tiny tacos off of each other's plates in a playful manner.
Hey.
Everyone's having a good time. Someone at the bar orders 3 rounds of tiny tacos appetizers for everyone. Yay!
Grimgrom's napping.
I know. Grimgrom throws a whole batch of tiny tacos into the animal fat and just boils them up. Right, there's a very satisfying, savory smell. And I'll have everyone make a perception check, with the exception of Pippi, who is busy entertaining. Pippi, you feel great. You have literally manipulated this entire crowd emotionally for like 2 hours straight.
Natural 20.
Like natural 20.
Nice.
21.
Damn, 21.
20.
Oh my
Dirty
gosh, now we
Oh
can
my-
Okay.
20. Dirty 20.
I'm kind of drunk though, so hold on.
That's you.
No.
No.
I got a with my 5 bonus. I got a 15.
Okay.
Still not bad.
You guys all see Babbo Three Fingers come in, and he has a camp follower on his arm, and he spots the 4 of you, and walks over to your table, and he's like, "Hey, what's going on, everyone? We need to go. Like, I told you guys, we got to go back to Arragas. You guys are all in trouble." And he's like, "Where's Vesper?" And then he looks on stage, and you see his face just, right? And he's like, "Who is that vision of beauty?"
Would you like to meet her?
I don't know. Do you think she'd want to meet me? And then the girl on Babel's arm is like, "Hey," and he's like, "Oh my gosh, she's so beautiful," and her voice, it's like an angel. And then the girl on his arm is like, "Hey," and she slaps him on the arm, and he's like, "I just pay you," and he shoves her. And he looks at you and he's like, "Fine," and he turns back to her and flips her another gold griffin. And then he turns around and he's like, "Have you guys been here all night?"
Where have you been?
Out.
Fornicating?
No, I mean, yeah, but not all. I tried. So Vesper told me about the Arragas
I don't need
steamer, and
details.
I learned about the Arragas dreamer. And did you know that? So I couldn't afford the
Bella.
steamer.
Please stop talking. What we could do instead
I'll tell
is
you about
watch this
the
vision
Sal
of
Sally
loveliness
when we go back to Arragas.
playing music, and then
Yeah,
maybe
I
when
wish
it's
I'd-
over, we can introduce you.
Why didn't you guys tell me this was happening?
Get her some tiny tacos. She just sang about.
We have a
tiny
very
taco
important job right now, but you have fun.
So me too, right?
What's your job?
We're to stop rabble rousers, so we're standing in the crowd.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Well, I'm gonna go get tiny tacos.
All right, you do that, B.
For the beautiful.
Does Liliana know that it's Vesper?
I don't know. Do you want to try to figure out if it's Vesper or not?
Yeah, that's what I thought I was rolling
Make
for.
a perception. No, you all saw Babbo come in. Like
We
you noticed him as soon as he walked in, like in a room full
Yeah.
in a sea full of 80 miners and camp followers. Babbo walks in, and all of you went right at him.
Because
I'm very
Go
susceptible
ahead
to
and,
this
if
guy.
you want to roll for Vesper. Go ahead.
We'll get there. All right.
You suspect that Pippi might be related to Vesper, one of his cousins or something.
I'm just staring.
She
Is what it is. Like, not I'm confused.
Pippi doesn't notice because she's got so many admirers.
Oh, I know.
We're
Okay.
bamboozled successfully.
Yeah, I mean,
all right.
all elves look the same. So
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna roll.
So,
Yeah, but see, I'm an elf.
Arister, go ahead and make
My
another
best friend's
perception
an
check too.
Ooh,
They
jeez.
all look the same.
Another perception check.
Yeah.
Oof.
Oof.
Try to
Alright.
do well on this one.
Yeah, hopefully.
No pressure.
Another dirty 20.
That is crazy.
I'm on a
All
hot
right.
streak.
You look around and Saris is nowhere to be seen in the bar.
Dumb
Oh.
butt.
All right, Babel comes
Begin
back with a
searching around.
Well, actually, you will begin searching around for her next time. It's time for us to stop. Babel comes back with a huge tray of tiny tacos. You alert how many people that Saris is not there.
Everybody.
All right, Babel is like, who's Saris?
Not him.
All right. Okay, so
Everybody else.
we'll go ahead and stop here
Can I order a cup of coffee?
for the night. Sure.
Does
I'll,
he have
I'll say,
coffee?
yeah, you're like,
Okay.
coffee, please. Yeah, dwarves have coffee.
I'll
They have to have
just eat
some
the
shit.
grounds at this point.
Are you sure you're not at the
Dwarven
triage
bean
step
juice?
at this point?
Yeah, dwarven bean juice.
Not
I
so
think I'm
worried
okay.
about Macari.
Yeah.
I think I'm okay.
She
Uh,
ate a spicy taco, alright?
She did.
Okay.
I mean,
So-
if you have that spell that gets rid of poisons, which works to sober you up, but
I feel like-
never bring it because it's kind of useless. Who
I'm
wants
just-
to be sober?
I'll be okay.
Actually, you know what? I changed my mind. Babbo doesn't say who's Saris. Babbo says, "Oh, Saris. Yeah, she left like 15 minutes ago.
Babbo, did you see where she went?
Yeah, she went to her tent and she said she had to get out of here."
I see. Thanks, Babbo.
Okay. Then he's like, "Tiny taco," and then we'll
No.
stop.
No
We'll
thanks.
stop here. Okay, so yeah, everybody who wants a tiny taco gets one. You won't even have to roll for it. Okay, so we'll meet next. Actually, hold on. Oh yeah, next Wednesday. We're gonna meet next Wednesday, and then we'll be taking a break for a week. I want to institute a 3-on, 1-off schedule. I will still be Twitch casting the following Wednesday, but it will not actually be the game. I do not yet know what I'll be twitching, but probably something along the lines of DM horror stories and or advice column. I'll let everybody know via Twitch and also Facebook. So thanks everybody for joining. Make sure to tell all your friends. Make sure to go to the Bearded Foe on Facebook and like my page. What else am I supposed to remind them of? Follow me.
On Twitch.
Follow us on Twitch. We get cool little notifications every time we get a new follower, and it makes us all feel really good. And I've started a bead necklace that I may weave into my beard with all my followers. 1 bead for each follower. So I'm up to like 7. So you guys keep it up. Keep it up. Okay, yeah, we'll go ahead and call it for tonight. Thanks everybody for joining us, and Mom, if you're still watching, I'll see you later.
Oh no.